following Times Now's report on how the state governments, both Congress and BJP, stalled eco-zone proposals. Politicians have been on the back foot, even outrightly denying it. Now more details emerge on how the state ignored environmental concerns raised by the CAG report. The report comes down heavily on the state for clearing massive construction work across the eco-sensitive zones.
Well, Madhav Das Gopalakrishnan joins us on the phone line with details. Madhav, if I could quote from that report, it says, and I quote, "Total neglect of environmental concerns, cumulative impact which may prove devastating to nature's resources." The fact is that over 48 hydropower projects were initiated in 2000. It did cause massive damage. Well, we're going to try and get Madhav back, but what essentially this CAG report talks about is the fact that environmental clearances and a lot of these projects were totally ignored. Do remember that in 2000, when the state was carved out of Uttar Pradesh, the government decided to harness hydropower in that area. The CAG essentially the report talks about the fact that a lot of environmental hazards were waiting to befall the state. Joining us, Madhav on the phone line. Madhav, the report extensively talks about the fact that there was a cumulative neglect of environmental concerns.
Absolutely. There are many issues arising out of these multiple dams that are being built really across the Bhagirathi and eventually the Ganga. Really the fact that so many dams being built is actually disturbing the natural flow of the river, reducing it to a trickle. Also, of course, the fact that all these construction activities are leading to poor quality of the water. So really that is one of the major issues that the Ministry of Environment and Forest had raised earlier as well, and the CAG report also had found really that is what was leading to the actual degradation really of the river and subsequently of the flora and fauna around the river as well as aquatic life. So that is the situation, and those are the findings of the CAG report, which clearly demonstrate that there has been no attempt really by the state government to try and make all of this development sustainable to whether in terms of the quality of the river or even in the terms of the surrounding flora and fauna in that particular region.
Madhav, now you are telling us the details of the CAG report. CAG had clearly raised alarm bells as early as 3 years ago. What is surprising at this point is that state governments, whether the current one or the previous one, are completely denying ever even receiving this report.
Absolutely. That is in fact they have of course received the report, but really as far as implementing the suggestions that have come out from it is where there has been lack of initiative on part of repeated and successive state governments in Uttarakhand. Not just the current regime, but the previous regime too has not really taken note of this. The argument of the state government has been that it is for development of that entire region, and that is why they do not want to implement this entire eco-sensitive zone. But really, of course, development coming at a huge environmental cost, and now in fact even at the cost of human life, as we've seen in this terrible tragedy that has taken place in this entire region.